The wages are going up.
Their wages are going up because the people are demanding it go up, not because Donald Trump wanted them to go up. Does that make sense?
But the economy is doing better in Michigan under President Trump.
But I don't put President Trump as the reason. It's because of the people demanding it.
Michigan Congresswoman and Squad member Rashida Tlaib offering that interesting take on the Trump economy in that interview with Jake Tapper over the weekend. And that was not the only headline to come out of it. Listen to what Tlaib said when she was pressed on her push to boycott and sanction Israel.
Why focus on just Israel? Why not also call for sanctions against other countries where you might have issues, such as Egypt or Pakistan or Saudi Arabia?
Oh, absolutely. And I think if there was an economic boycott movement around Saudi Arabia, I'll be the first to sign up for it. Under Netanyahu's regime, human rights violations have gotten worse. And we need to be able to
Why not boycott Egypt? They have.
I would boycott Egypt, of course.
But you keep saying
I'm very critical.
You would boycott Saudi Arabia. You would boycott Egypt, but you're not.
But right now, there is not a bill or resolution on the floor that is saying stop boycotting Egypt.
But you could.
Of course.
Here now, Dr. Kanta Ahmed, a journalist, doctor, and member of the Council on Foreign Relations. Doctor, good evening to you. You watched and listened to that exchange with all of us. Your thoughts as you watched.
She reveals her astonishing ignorance. First of all, those countries are all very complicated, but in advocating for BDS, she is seeking really to embrace militant anti-Semitism that's calling for the demographic eradication of Israel as a social justice effort. If she wanted to advocate for Muslims that are being persecuted, I'd like to hear her on the 700,000 Rohingyas that have had an exodus from Myanmar from their persecution, 140,000 dead, the million plus that are imprisoned in concentration camps in China at the moment, the Uyghurs. She is clearly revealing that she has Islamist anti-Semitic sympathies.
But what you hear from her is that this economic boycott of Israel is freedom of speech. She said, quote, it's pushing back against racist policies in Israel.
So what this is an example of contemporary left-wing anti-Semitism, where anti-Zionism is embraced as an anti-racist act, as a humanitarian act. Anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. Zionism is the national liberation movement of the Jewish people. They have a right to exist, a right to a nation, not only through history, biblical history, but also legal sovereignty. Denying that is a form of racism that she is attempting to inverse, and that is the left interpretation of anti-Semitism. Boycott divestment movement, by the way, does not involve literal boycott. If they wanted to, they've been saying this for 10 years, stop using iPhones, don't use 3D printers, don't use anything that has an Intel chip like your laptops, don't take insulin, don't take any of these products, even the Face ID recognition on our iPhones, all is Israeli technology. That's not their intent. Their intent is to delegitimize the existence of Israel, and she embraces that.
Last week, 398 House members overwhelmingly, as you know, passed a resolution to oppose the BDS movement. Tliab casted one of the 17 no votes. She's even taking on leaders of her own party. Chuck Schumer said this back in January.
When there is such a double standard, when the world treats everybody one way and the Jew or the Jewish state another way, there's only one word for it: anti-Semitism. Let us call out the BDS movement for what it is.
And that is, he says, is anti-Semitic.
He's absolutely right. And that meets the criteria of anti-Semitism by many academics that study anti-Semitism. But if he wanted to really call it out, he would expunge it from his party. He is the party leader of the Democrats. The centrist Democrats are looking at their own political neutering by this squad, of which Tliab is a member, that is now apparently broadcasting that Democrats believe in this philosophy, though they did condemn the resolution in the House. Marco Rubio, the senator from Florida, sponsored and passed a bill in the Senate penalizing companies that would engage in boycott, and the House refused to vote on that. They rejected it. So you can't have it both ways.
Here's more from Rashida Tlaib in that interview over the weekend.
Do you think the Jewish people have the right to a state in the area where Israel exists now?
Look, I truly believe the state of Israel exists, correct? But understand, does it exist in the detriment of inequality for the Palestinian people? We're not going to have peace if we don't understand that we are dehumanizing Palestinians every single day when we choose Israel over their rights.
Final thoughts and reaction to
So
that?
I think she wasn't emphatic enough. I think what she's saying is Israel exists on the map today. She's not according the right of a nationhood to the Jewish people definitively, and she uses the word to the detriment of Palestinians. I've been to Israel 11 times. I've met with Muslims who put on the IDF uniform and defend Israel at the Gaza border. I've met with Israeli academics who are Palestinians, who are valedictorians. I've met with minority Muslims who are persecuted in Pakistan while they proselytize in Israel proper. She doesn't know Israel, and she doesn't know the Muslims and the situation of them there, and she is being intellectually dishonest.
What is a feud within her own party that continues to grow? We'll continue to watch it. Dr. Ahmed, we appreciate you coming on tonight. Thank you.
Pleasure.